السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. مرحبا بكم في درس جديد على قناتنا Learn English with جنات. إذا كنت تريد تعلم اللغة الإنجليزية والتحدث بها بطلاقة، فابدأ الآن واشترك في القناة وفعل الجرس ليصلك كل الدروس، ولا تنسى أن تضغط لايك إذا أعجبتك طريقتي في الشرح. والآن نتركك مع الدرس.
Title: The Portal in the Attic. 12-year-old Sarah had just moved into an old, creaky house with her parents. It was perched on a hill surrounded by towering oak trees, with a view of the countryside. The house was charming but mysterious, with narrow hallways, hidden nooks, and an attic her parents said was off-limits. "Why can't I go up there?" Sarah asked her mom one day. "It's just dusty and full of old junk," her mom replied. But the way she avoided looking at Sarah made her suspicious. From that moment, the attic became all Sarah could think about. One stormy evening, curiosity got the better of her. While her parents were busy unpacking downstairs, Sarah tiptoed up the creaky stairs to the attic door. The handle was cold, and when she turned it, the door opened with a long, low groan. The attic was dimly lit, with a single dusty window letting in streaks of moonlight. Boxes were piled everywhere, and cobwebs hung in the corners. But what caught Sarah's attention was a large, ornate mirror leaning against the far wall. The mirror was unlike anything she had ever seen. Its frame was made of dark, twisting wood, carved with strange symbols. The glass wasn't reflective, it shimmered, as if it were made of liquid. Sarah reached out to touch it. As soon as her fingers brushed the surface, the mirror rippled like water, and a soft hum filled the room. Suddenly, a glowing doorway appeared in the glass, pulling her in with a gust of wind. When Sarah opened her eyes, she was no longer in the attic. She stood in a vibrant, colorful world. The sky was a deep purple with two suns shining overhead, and the ground sparkled as if it were made of tiny gemstones. Strange plants with glowing flowers surrounded her, and in the distance, she saw a shimmering castle. "Where am I?" Sarah whispered. A soft voice answered, "You're in Astralis, the world of the portal." Sarah turned to see a small creature standing beside her. It was about the size of a cat, with fluffy white fur, bright blue eyes, and tiny wings. "I'm Lumi," the creature said. "The portal hasn't opened in years. You must be special to have activated it." "I didn't mean to," Sarah exclaimed. "I was just curious. How do I get back home?" Lumi's ears drooped. "The portal will only reopen if you solve the riddle of Astralis. You must find 3 keys hidden across the land. Only then can you return." Sarah's heart raced. She didn't want to stay here forever. "All right," she said, taking a deep breath. "Where do I start?" The journey for the keys. The first key, the Forest of Whispers. Lumi led Sarah to the Forest of Whispers, where the first key was hidden. The forest was alive with soft, murmuring voices that seemed to come from the trees. "Don't listen to them too closely," Lumi warned. "They'll try to confuse you." As Sarah walked, she heard the whispers, turn left, go back, you're lost. She shook her head and focused on the path. In the center of the forest, she found a stone pedestal with the first key, a silver one, resting on top. When she grabbed it, the whispers grew louder, and the trees seemed to close in. Lumi nudged her. Run. Together, they sprinted out of the forest, clutching the key. The second key, the crystal caves. The next destination was a cave filled with glowing crystals. Inside, the air was cool and still, and the walls sparkled with light. At the heart of the cave, the second key floated above a pool of water. But as Sarah approached, the water began to ripple, and a figure emerged. It was a shimmering guardian made of crystal, towering over her. To take the key, you must answer this, it said in a deep, echoing voice. What has roots but no branches, grows but is not alive? Sarah thought hard. She remembered a riddle book she had read once. A mountain, she said confidently. The guardian nodded and stepped aside, allowing her to take the golden key. The third key, the sky tower. The final key was in the sky tower, a tall structure that reached above the clouds. Sarah and Lumi climbed the winding staircase, their legs aching as they neared the top. At the summit, they found the third key, glowing softly. But as Sarah reached for it, a strong wind swirled around them, and a shadowy figure appeared. I am the keeper of the portal, the figure said. To take the final key, you must show your heart's true strength. Suddenly, Lumi was swept off the tower by the wind. Help me, Sarah, it cried. Without thinking, Sarah dove after her friend, catching Lumi midair. The wind slowed, and they floated safely back to the tower. The keeper reappeared, smiling. You have proven your courage and kindness. The final key is yours, it said, handing her the bronze key, the return home. With all three keys, Sarah returned to the portal. The mirror rippled as she placed the keys into slots on its frame. The doorway glowed brightly, and Lumi looked up at her. You've done it, Sarah. You can go home now, it said, though its voice sounded sad. Come with me, Sarah said, not wanting to leave her new friend behind. I belong here, Lumi said with a smile. But don't worry. The portal will always be waiting if you need another adventure. Sarah stepped through the glowing doorway, and in an instant, she was back in the attic. The mirror was just a regular mirror now, but the three keys lay on the floor beside it. Her parents called from downstairs. Sarah, dinner's ready. Coming, she called back, picking up the keys. As she closed the attic door, she smiled, knowing her adventure in Astralis would always be a part of her, and that the portal might open again someday. And so, Sarah's discovery of the portal in the attic was just the beginning of her incredible journeys beyond her world.